Welcome back to the Undeniable Expansion podcast. I'm so excited to be here. We are in-person podcasting, which is absolutely my favorite because you get a vibe. And also I'm with one of my very close friends, my upline, and somebody who has like completely transformed my life, especially the last 8 months. Right? Right? Here we go. We're jumping right into it. So I have Ashley here. And before we get started and like share a little bit of our story and also some of the major key takeaways of this last year working with her, I'm going to have her introduce herself. So tell us about you.
Okay. Hello, everybody. I'm so excited to be here. And I know we're going to get into how me and Darcey met, but I am a mom of three, a newly mom of three. I have a 5-year-old, a almost 3-year-old, and a 17-week-old from Rhode Island. I have been here for about I don't know, a little over 11 years. And my entrepreneurial journey, I think, really started when I moved back from Florida and I was bombing interviews. Like I would be in interviews and they would ask me to do a simple math problem and I couldn't do it. So that resistance was actually a sign. But I am a national vice president with Arbonne. I've been with them for about 5 years now. And I was that person that never thought I would do network marketing. I said hell to the no for about a year. And it's absolutely changed my life in so many different ways.
Yeah. And you want to know there's so many cool things about you. One, that you're a mom of three and you like, it doesn't even stop you. Like,
I know one speed.
Yeah. She never skips a moment. Like I remember you were 9 months pregnant and I was running for my second level promotion and you're just like, okay, it's 11 o'clock. How we doing? Checking in. So anyway, one thing that is really cool is I've actually been like lurking on you. I think now it's like lurking for like 3.5 years now.
So crazy.
And what's so cool is that we did build a friendship, right? Like online, but I was always watching from the sidelines, right? And I was the same where I was like, listen, I'm never doing network marketing again. I did that. Let me tell you, I don't believe in it. Like I always say this, like you could probably go back a couple of podcasts, like a couple of years ago.
Roasting it.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, okay, this is the full circle moment here where I was roasting it and here I am. And now I like live and breathe it. So it's a full circle moment. But one thing I was actually sharing with you earlier is that I continue to watch, and it was so cool to like watch you build this business, right? Build this team. And even though I wasn't on your team yet, right? I wasn't even a consultant or anything like that. I literally, like, you were coaching me, like, through Instagram stories, you know? And, like, I kept watching, and I came to this point where, you know, you mentioned it to me. We met each other at events, and you're like, listen, like, you'd be really good at this. And I still had my ego talking very loud, like, no, I don't do network marketing. For some reason, I thought I was too good for that, which is so funny.
I did too.
Yeah, no, we thought we were too good. And then I finally remember there was actually one of your team members, Amber, was running for her 3rd level. And I saw the way that you were supporting her and how much joy like you got from her rising up. And literally I had this feeling of like, I need to be in that community. Yeah. Right? I needed to be in a community where there was women that were empowering each other, but also too, like, it was okay to dream big, right? Like, how many times do we get around people where it's like your dreams,
they make you feel dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Even still now, right? Like, as we're actually doing the thing, like, I have people be like, oh, yeah, but will you really? And I'm like, that's just fuel to the fire. But, so I was watching you, and then come January, I was at this, like, rock bottom point, and I'm like, just do it. Like, just do it. And I remember, the funny part is, do you remember that I signed up and didn't even tell you? And then I did it wrong at first. I was like, oh, yeah. So, by the way, I'm a consultant under you. And I just want to let you know, like, I'm ready to go. And she's like, okay.
I was like, no.
But I didn't even sign up, right? So, anyway, it was a whole ordeal. But the thing that's really cool, and what I mean, I didn't sign up, right? Like, I was as a PC, a preferred client, and I'm like promoting the business. Yeah. And you're like, okay, but you gotta actually be a consultant to sell. I'm like, how do I send a cart? Anyway, so with that, talk to us a little bit about your journey these last couple of years and you really stepping into the Ashley today.
Oh gosh. Okay. So let's do cliff notes here. So I was making money. I moved down to Rhode Island. Me and my husband actually moved in relatively quickly with each other because we're like, all right, if we can't live together, it's not going to work.
Right,
So
right.
I built a strong personal training business. Back in Springfield, Mass. I was working probably like 12 to 14 hours a day. And I was making a ton of money living at home, like banking it in. Like mom's still cooking for me. It was awesome.
Still cleaning.
Still
Oh
cleaning.
man.
It was awesome. And then I met my husband and I moved down to Rhode Island and I essentially had to start all over again. But I built I actually transferred my clients in Springfield to online. That's what got me into like online coaching so I could still support them. So long story short, I was making money. I was quote unquote living life on my own terms. I made my own schedule, right? But I reached a point where I always knew I wanted kids. And I wanted to be a mom that was actually there watching them grow up. And I knew if I was at the gym from even 4 or 5 in the morning until noon and then I had to go back there, I'd be missing so many like intricate parts of their day. So that's what kind of a light bulb went off in my head. I'm like, I have to do something to supplement that income. When I found out I was pregnant, still said no to Arbonne though. Like it was never, still no, absolutely not. And then my girlfriend, who I signed up under, I saw her and she was relatively in the same spot as me, had an online program, making money, etc. But then she got pregnant and she said yes to Arbonne. So I think initially I fell for how the products were making her feel. I mean, I went through like binge eating and all that, like body dysmorphia. So that's a whole nother podcast. But so when I got pregnant and I had to deal with like gaining weight and loving my body and all those things, I saw what she was doing as almost how I wanted to feel. So that's what I think initially drew me in. But when I first said yes to Arbonne, I couldn't go to the bathroom. That's what really got me to say yes. And then I quickly saw the opportunity of all these other women like making amazing money, like traveling, and they were just happy. They were just happy,
Yep.
you know? So I wanted that. I craved that. So I quickly was like, all right, month one in the business, I made like $30. Go to earningsarbonne.com. Let's get that out of the way.
Right now, plug that in there.
So made $30 and then I just dove in. And I went from like a struggle, not, I say struggling because yes, I was making money as a personal trainer. I was paying my bills, but a lot of the financial burden was still on my husband. He never made me feel less than, he never made me feel like bad about it or like this like superiority, but I felt it. Like I wanted to make a lot of money and I was like scared to say that. So when I got into Arbonne and I saw what was possible, I ran with it. I ran with it. And now obviously 5 years later, we're here. And I feel like when I said I had freedom before, it wasn't truly freedom.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I have full autonomy over my schedule. I pay my bills. I go get Botox when I want. I, just little things like that. Like that to me was what I always craved. And I'm home with my kids.
Right. Right. And that's something that I've been talking about a lot lately is like defining your freedom because for me personally, it is being at every kid game, right? Like that's something I didn't get growing up. So like that's huge to me. But also too, being a mom, being able to put them in the sports. Like even this week, and then I'm like, why did I do this to myself? But like it's like football, swimming lessons, right? We're doing all these things. And I'm like, man, how great is it that we have the freedom
to do that,
to provide that to our children, right? And a huge component of that is Arbonne, right?
I remember when Jess, my girlfriend who I signed up under, she's from Canada. So when she came over to Rhode Island for the first time, I was pulling out all the cards. We're going to Newport, we're getting tattoos, we're, doing all the things. And I remember taking her into Watch Hill, which is, like the bougie part of Rhode Island. And she wanted to go shopping. And I'm like, okay. And she's like, you're not going to get anything. I'm like, no, I don't like anything in here. Girl,
Right. Come on.
come on.
Yeah.
They have
Mhm.
everything that you want in here. This
Mhm.
store was made for you.
Yeah.
But every time I would swipe my credit card, I would stress out. Every time I would pay for something, I would immediately go to my online banking. Like I just wasn't at a place where I was just comfortable with living and like, you know what I mean, if that
Mhm.
makes sense.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
I feel like Arbonne gave me the ability to choose how I wanted to live,
Yeah.
you know?
Oh, I love that. I love that. Okay, so as you're building this up, you go to the top 1% of the
Yep.
company. Okay. And
Yep.
I was lucky that I got to watch that from the
Mhm.
sidelines, right? Because I was still lurking like a creep. And as you were running for this,
Yep.
okay, I saw that you really brought your team
Mhm.
together, right? Like you built a community.
Mhm.
So when you were going for something that's such a big goal, right?
Mhm.
Because that's a huge goal to achieve. What are some things that you had to do personally so you could
Mm.
accomplish this?
Mhm.
You're like, it keeps going.
Yeah.
She told me this the other day. She goes,
Yeah.
just so you know, it's gonna keep going.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing, like I was a C student. I was never the star athlete. I was never in honors. I always was, you know, I was never like the prettiest. I felt like I was just always second.
Hmm.
So I feel like the biggest thing that I had to work on and then also help my team work on is actually feeling worthy of getting there
Hmm.
and having the success. And I think a little bit comes into childhood. Like money was never talked about. We always had money, but it was
Hmm.
never talked about.
Right.
And it was always like, oh, making money's hard. So I never I never knew that making money could be fun. It could be helpful to people. It could be enjoyable. So I think my money mindset and then just that sense of feeling worthy of being successful were
Hmm.
the two biggest things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So then you achieve this big goal.
Hmm.
Okay. And then at this point, when you went Nation, you had two kiddos.
I just had, yeah, Mickey was born the 20th September and we went nation the following July.
All right. So for my mamas out there, she's in the newborn stage doing
Hmm.
this. And we all know, I always say this, like after you have a baby, the dark stage, postpartum, it gets real
Hmm.
dark.
Hmm.
Right. And now we're doing this podcast and she's in postpartum again.
Yeah.
Right? She's doing
Last
it
time
again.
though. Last
Last
time.
time. It's a wrap. So as you're tying in momhood and the business, how did you like really go through like balancing both? The word balance.
I think balance is bullshit.
Yeah. That's what I wanted you to say. That's why I had to bring it up.
I think balance is bullshit. I think my kids were always like my family is my reason for everything, right? So it's like that when we tell our kids that okay, you can be anything you want, go dream big, but if they see you not living that, they're gonna be like, you're full of shit. You don't
Mm-hmm.
do that. So
Mm-hmm.
I knew that I wanted to be the role model for them. Like they saw their mom working, they saw their mom making money, they saw their mom dreaming big, they saw their mom happy. But I think balance is bullshit. I think people are like, well, I want balance. Well, it's like if you want to live a life that you can have autonomy over your schedule, you can make money, you can travel, you can make an impact. Like there needs to be seasons where you are fucking hustling.
Mm-hmm.
Like yeah, I think this year, and I'm year 5 in my business, I have reached balance in my business.
Yep.
But it's because I mean I went region with Sunny nursing on my boob.
Yep.
Like
Mm-hmm.
I went nation with 2 kids and staying up late, my eyes were burning because I literally wasn't sleeping. But that's part of the territory,
Right.
you know.
And you have to, like, one thing I've been able to watch you do, and even like for myself, is you have to do that build for that future life, right?
100%.
So here you are, year 5, you
Yeah.
have 3 kids, you're able to be a little bit more present, more flexible,
Mhm.
right? And you're able to, like, be able to have your kids home,
Mhm.
right? And that's something
Mhm.
that you always wanted.
Mhm.
So, like, for anybody who's like, okay, I'm a mom, I got all these things going on, but I want to step into this business, like, what's a couple key things you would say to them?
Stop using your kids as the excuse you're not doing it.
Hmm.
Like I can't.
Hmm. They should be the
They should
reason.
be the reason.
Yeah.
You know, it's if you allow this might trigger some people, but whatever. If you allow yourself to just be a mom, like I fucking love being a mom. It's my proudest oh whatever hat that I wear. But this business gives me such purpose, which makes me a better mom.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I just had, okay, wake up, I feed the kids, and I'm not diminishing that because it's hard, but if I only had that, it is so easy to lose yourself. This business allows me to find myself more and more every day, and it just gives me purpose, which makes me better for them.
Right.
So it's like, stop using your kids as an excuse.
100%. And then another thing too is like, one, we're talking a lot about the business side, but like the products are also
Mhm.
going to make you feel good so you can do all the things.
Girl,
Right?
do you know how many times I get DMs? They're like, you're 17 weeks postpartum with baby 3. Like, where did you fit a baby? And I'm like, I'm telling you, inflammation. I don't diet. I drink my shakes. I drink my greens, my fizz. It helps so much with
Mm-hmm.
how you feel physically and how you show up.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
100%. And like also too, the best accountability is like when this is your business, you're doing it every day. You don't even
Yeah.
think about it, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
you're like posting about it and
Mm-hmm.
you are an example of the product,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that is just one thing I always like to plug in there because as a mom and we're so busy,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of days before I was like not even eating,
Mm-hmm.
right? It'd be like 4 o'clock. I'm like, oh, I should probably eat. And then I'm like binging, right?
Yep. Yep.
So it's one of those things where this is like a full circle moment where it's like you are using the products that are going to help you be a better mom. And also, too, they're watching,
Yeah.
right? They're
Mm-hmm.
watching you put good food into your body.
Mm-hmm.
They're watching you take care of yourself.
Yep.
They're also like one thing with my son is like, he is literally a part of this business.
100%.
The team knows, right? Like,
Like, we're
everyone.
the stickies, mom.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's pulling the stickies.
Yep.
And that was something as I was going for area, which is the second level of management, we put stickies on the wall. And with that, every time somebody joined, he would rip a sticky. And what was really cool is he got to see like how to achieve a
Achieve it.
goal
Mm-hmm. And not give up.
and
Mm-hmm.
not give up. And like even when you think, right, because of that last day, you really started
Right.
to question, okay, you're like, is this gonna happen? Him being like, you got this, mom.
Yeah.
It was like a, ooh,
Oh, I
yeah,
know.
like a, oh my gosh, you know? So it was just one of those things like, if you are right now using your kids as an excuse, one, stop doing that, right? They need to be a reason, but also two, like you are going to set them up for serious success
Mm-hmm.
as you are achieving that.
Mm-hmm. And I always say, I made a post about this maybe a couple months ago, but eventually, your kids are going to find out exactly who you are. So if
Yes.
you are walking around hating yourself, if you're not happy, if you have no purpose, like you can put a mask on, but eventually they're going to find out exactly who you are.
Yeah. Ooh, I feel that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know that at the end of the day, when my time is done, my kids are going to be like, damn, my mom crushed it.
Right.
Like, she crushed it. And she did it for us because now we're crushing it.
Ooh, that just like lit a fire.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
It's true.
Whew. Okay. So switching gears a little bit, one thing that really attracted me to working with you
Mm-hmm.
is like you took the ick out of network marketing, okay? Because
Mm-hmm.
this is a network marketing business, but I'm going to be honest, it doesn't even feel like it.
No.
And I actually, one of my new consultants, she said to me yesterday, she's like, this feels too good to be network
I
marketing.
love that.
Yeah, she goes, this feels too good to be network
Make
marketing.
that content.
Literally, I screenshot. I'm like, okay, there we go. But tell us a little bit about like how do you one take the ick out of network marketing, but you also train us, right? Your team, how to really build this business.
Okay, so I will be honest. When I came into the business, I was like a sponge. You told me to do something, did it. And I feel like when I was in Maui, which is every year they take the top 1% leaders to Maui in January. And I remember sitting there, and I had this like epiphany that I was silencing my voice, that I was just going with, this business is duplication. But it got to a point where I was duplicating, but I was doing it with somebody else's voice.
Yeah.
Not that was bad, but I knew I was different. I knew that I needed to step into my power. So my thing is I want to continue to teach you guys to bring to the surface all the things that people talk shit about network marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, make 100-person list. If you told me to make 100-person list when I came in, I don't even know 100 people. Like,
Literally.
I'd be like, oh, I suck. I'm failing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like these ways of network marketing, of just sending copy and paste scripts and making content that's only, you know, sharing your why or sharing the products. It's like people want to get to know you, and they buy out of emotion. So I want to help you guys continue, and myself included, to make that emotional connection with people in person and online. So I think just calling out the shit talk of network marketing and sharing how we do it differently just helps people be like, oh, okay, actually I don't need to do it like that. I could do it this way.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because consultants on your team, you even said to me before we did this podcast, you sit them down, you're like, okay, these are the different ways that you can work the business. Which one feels best for you?
Yeah.
Do you know how many leaders don't do that?
Right.
They're like, no, you got to do this. You got to launch your business this way. It's like, no, well, what feels best for you?
Mm-hmm.
You empower them, right?
Yeah.
So that's the difference. And that's where I think our team does differently.
Yeah. And I also think you have really taught us to build that personal brand, right?
Mm-hmm.
And being authentic.
Mm-hmm.
And when you step into that, so like my biggest transformation the last 8 months working together is like, yes, I've rose up in the business. I got team members and stuff like that. But really, I'm just fully being myself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just
Feels
letting her,
good.
I'm just letting her
Feels
out,
good,
right? Like
right?
I'm just like, it's just a whole nother level. So like, yes, you are showing us how to build the business, but also when you can truly be authentic, it takes out the hard.
You get ideas left and right.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, I sometimes post 3 times a day because I'm like, oh my God, and people think you can't. Well, and I do think, I will say this, I feel like Instagram has shifted in regards to Instagram. When I first started back in 2000, I don't even know, I was still with First Form at the time. It's another supplement company, but it was very value driven, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
very, here are the 3 exercises that are going to grow your glutes. Here are the 3 tips to get more protein. Here are like, it was very like, that's what people wanted. But now it's transitioned. Like, people want to get to know you. They want you to be a human behind the screen.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, bringing stuff in where you're going out. I did a reel the other day where it was the start of our night drinking martinis. And then every couple hours I took a video, and by the end we're like dancing, but people loved it. And you get into conversations with people,
Mm-hmm.
right? Network marketing is networking, and you do a great job at this. Like, you'll talk to anybody,
Yeah.
like, I want to get to know you. And that's literally how Instagram is. And that's how your brand should be,
Yeah. Yeah. And it feels just so much more natural. And you also build like a deeper relationship,
100%.
right? With your clients, with your consultants. So that's something that me stepping into that has really helped me this last year. Okay. So we're definitely going to do a part 2.
Okay.
But one thing I want to just talk about is I'm about to gear up, right? I'm gearing up.
Get ready.
Up. Me and my team are gearing up for that third level of management. And what this really shows is like pushing ourselves to really make that impact. And that's something that we talk about all the time. Like,
Side note, you said that and it's 11:11. Just going.
and my phone lit up.
Mm-hmm,
That was weird. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So here we go. So with like this impact that we are making, right? Because I think it's so much more than
So much more.
so much more. What are some tips you have for me? So like anybody gearing up right now, what's some tips?
You have, when you declare, I'm going for X promotion, there can't be a flicker of doubt that you're going to do it. Because, like I said yesterday on the call, strategy will never outweigh identity. So you need to literally see yourself walking across that stage and then calling your specific name.
Mm-hmm. I already see
With
the
the
dress.
flat, me too.
Yeah.
I'm like out of tears. Like, I can't even wear makeup that day. But when I went nation, I declared nation 3 times before I'm like, we're doing it, we're doing it. But there was still so much doubt that I was worthy of it and that I deserved it and that we could do it. And of course, what happened? We didn't do it. And this last time I said, if you're going to do it, you owe it to yourself and your team to fully pour belief into yourself every single day. Because if you do that, you already won.
Yeah.
Like that would be my biggest thing.
Yeah. And I even think about for my first 2 levels that me and my team achieved, that was something that you really taught me.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, you got this.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just like literally embodied that.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I even now, right?
Mm-hmm.
I already call myself that level of management. I'm
Mm-hmm.
already like asking myself every day. I have, even this morning, last night, Ashley did an exercise with us about like your future self walking over the bridge, right? And like, I'm like drinking my greens on my porch,
Yeah.
like I do every day, setting my intention. And I was like, literally, like, let's go. Like I
Yeah.
could see that future self
Yeah.
being like, how are we showing up today to be in
Mm-hmm.
that energy?
Mm-hmm.
And that was something that like you have really taught us to embody and has
It's
really
everything.
Yeah, it's
It's
everything.
everything. And I will say too, just seeing, we were talking about this before we did the podcast too, but the first 3.5 years, even when I went nation for my business, not that I didn't have my team on the forefront, I did, but it was still all about me.
Mm-hmm.
And this last year, I really connected to my purpose, and there is nothing better than, when I watched you and Amber on the screen in Vegas, like
Mm-hmm.
going across that stage, and just there's nothing better. So going to the VP level, if you continue to care more about helping your team change their life, look at Shelby and Amanda, and care about that, and everything else will fall.
Yeah.
Everything else will flow.
And honestly, that's the greatest reward.
There's nothing better.
Yeah.
I said, if I never walk the stage or talk or get awarded, I truly don't give a shit.
Yeah. You will though. You 100% will. I can't wait. I can't wait till you have like the it's like the wings, right?
The wings.
Guys, I'm still so new that I'm like the wings. I think that's what it's called. But when you're 3 wide.
3 wide.
There we go. I cannot wait. And I'm just like, oh my God, I'm one of them.
There's just nothing better than seeing women believe that they are worthy of doing it, and then they do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then then they stop hanging out with that group that tears them down, or they stop caring about being judged, and they're like putting content out there, and that they're helping other women. Like that's what it's about.
Yeah. And one thing that has really helped me is like the not caring what other people think.
Mm-hmm.
I think for so long that's where we
People
stay,
pleaser.
right?
Mm-hmm.
People pleaser. Oh my gosh, da da da. Or like not talking about Arbonne because
Mm-hmm.
it would irritate
Yeah.
family members.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, heck no.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, they walk in like, you want a fizz?
Yeah.
What you need? You want a protein shake? I don't do that. Well, I'll make you one anyway.
Anyway, right.
Don't judge until you try it.
Right.
Like just having that full body of like knowing your purpose, but also one thing that we're very fortunate is we can stand behind this company.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you experience Vegas, but that's our global conference for those of you that are listening. And when you are in that arena, you're like, oh my God, it is so much more than just selling greens or just even what we're doing day to day. You see just the impact in that arena, and it's like next level.
Oof.
I know.
Just like get the whole body chills. All right, so we'll definitely do a part 2, but thank you so much for coming on.
Yes, of course.
I am so lucky to have you. And like this last year, I even said this morning, I'm like, January Darcey would be so proud.
Oh,
and if you didn't keep showing up, I wouldn't be here.
Oh, I love you so much.
Love you.
So much.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Always. So good.